So 1 Chronicles 29:20 says, Then David said to all the group of people gathered together, Now give praise to the Lord your God. So all the people gave praise to the Lord God, the God their ancestors worshipped. And they bowed to the ground to give honor to the Lord and to the king. Other translations talk about worshiping the Lord and the king. Probably a better translation, because the one word there, to worship, is used of Yahweh or Jehovah. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it. The New Testament makes no issue about pronouncing God's name in Hebrew. But the point, or the difficulty possibly in that verse, is that you worship God and the king. The Bible is not English idiom. These are written in Hebrew, 75% of our Bibles, and then the other 25%, the New Testament, in the Greek, inspired in the Greek language. And the word worship in English today is very misleading in terms of the Bible. We normally don't worship anybody except God. God alone is worshipped. But in the Bible, Jesus is worshipped. He's not God, of course. He's the Son of God, but he gets worshipped as Messiah. And guess what? David, the king of Israel, is worshipped also here. The very same Greek word proskuneo that's in the Septuagint of the Old Testament, and the same word in the Greek of the New, proskuneo, means to worship. But you don't worship anybody as God except the God of the ancestors of Israel, the one God of unitary monotheism. Of course, the Trinity is quite foreign to the Old Testament and the New, but it's proper to worship God as the one God, and it's proper to worship the King, who is God's elevated agent, supreme agent of God. You worship him as the Messiah. You worship King David as the King of Israel, and you worship Jesus as the Son of God, the Messiah. That shouldn't be difficult. All right, in Revelation 5, in connection with the worship of the Lamb, in 5:12 we have the voices saying, Worthy is the slaughtered Lamb to receive power, wealth, wisdom, and might, honor, glory, and blessing. And in 13, I heard every creature in heaven and on the earth and under the earth and in the sea. And they said, Blessing, honor, glory, and power belong to the one seated on the throne. That's God the Father, the one God, and to the Lamb forever and always. Yes, of course, honor and glory and worship are given to the Son as well as to the Father. And as we just saw, to David the king. But let's turn to the one earlier in Revelation. This is to illustrate that the word worship is not used as we do in modern American or English. It can be used of people at different levels of exaltation. And here the saints are going to be worshipped. So those who oppose true Christians from Satan's synagogue, I will cause them, Jesus says, to come and bow down at your feet. That same word, proskuneo, to bow down, to worship. They should translate that worship to be consistent. Of course, it means to do obeisance to bow down of the Christians and make people realize so that I, Jesus, have loved you.